Hey, how are you doing today? I hope you have had already a great Global XR conference and now you are ready for some on-demand sessions. I'm going to talk to you about the mix of artificial intelligence and metaverse. Where is the AI today, perhaps, and a bit about how it's going to affect the metaverse, what kind of experiences it will enable us to have, how it's going to transform things. So let's get started. My name is Vesa Nopanen. Everyone calls me Vesku. I'm a principal consultant of the metaverse and future work at Sulava. And I'm also Microsoft MVP in two categories, M365 and mixed reality. There's my contact information, so feel free to connect with me at LinkedIn and Twitter or X as it is these days. And of course, subscribe to my blog, mymetaverseday.com. I'm writing there about AI, about metaverse, Microsoft Mesh, Teams, that kind of future work topics. So I think we should get started with the session. Let's go forward.
AI speech technologies, text-to-speech and speech-to-text, are being integrated with realistic avatars, creating a natural user interface that revolutionizes our interactions. This seamless fusion with other AIs is transforming how we interact with bot avatars, environment, and spaces in the metaverse. By leveraging AI speech capabilities, we can communicate with machines using our natural language, making interaction more intuitive and seamless than ever before. Since AI understands what we mean, there is no need to settle to plain Q&A chatbots, but we can convert that meaning to actions. How far away we are from realistic digital humans, after all. I am a digital people example, and I was constructed with a few different AI technologies combined together. The future is already here.
Indeed. Thank you, my digital avatar version. And it was an example what you can do already. Yes, it could give me a chance to stop talking for a while and give you just to enjoy the avatar version of me or digital Vesku telling you about the session. But of course I won't be doing that. It would take away the fun. But that one was generated with those three tools. Midjourney you can generate not exactly realistic looking people, but close to that. They have their own style. And I also used a face swapping tool there to get my face there, and it got a lot younger in the process. I also used 11 labs to clone my voice in there, so I was able to just type what I'm going to say, and it would say it out. It could understand or do several languages as well. And finally, DID for animation. So it wasn't really me, but it resembled me in a way, and there are some similarities in the voice, because those were just the quick ways how to do it. I didn't do all the hard way voice cloning there. It was just the, let's say, the easy way to do that. You just have some 30 minutes of your recording from somewhere. I just took one session and feed that to 11 labs and get the audio out. So it's getting really easy. But what about when we are stepping up? Perhaps there's a next level to achieve with these avatars. Let's see. Oh yeah, that looks just like me. And yes, that's also an avatar. That's a digital one. That's not me, but hey, it looks pretty much like me, doesn't it? It may sound like me as well.
Welcome to the age of artificial intelligence. It's a world where technology has advanced to the point where we can create avatars that look, sound, and act just like real people. Imagine this. You're browsing a metaverse, and when you have questions, it's the avatar of CEO of the company, ready to answer any questions you may have. Think about a digital avatar of Human Resources Director who can guide you through the onboarding process without ever getting tired. SaaS, available to assist you 24/7, providing a big time better experience than watching videos and reading documents on demand does. And with the integration of natural language AI, these avatars can understand what you mean, intent, and respond in any language. This is just the beginning of what AI-powered avatars can do. So let's embark on this exciting journey.
Now, yes, let's embark on the exciting journey. That looked a lot more real, right? Hagen is a very powerful tool in that, and I used only the easy version to create a kind of digital version of myself. Just a webcam, take a video, and take some manners there. I seem to be using my hands a lot, but it was all digitized. It was all generating my movements and expressions while it was speaking out the script, and it can use a lot of different languages as well. I think there was over 20 different languages. So you can see where we are going with this. We can start to generate very realistic looking deepfakes in a way, and of course as we go forward that's a real threat as well. But looking at the positive side now, thinking yes, we can create this kind of digital clones of people who could represent our company, they could represent us, or they could even do these sessions. That would have been one option. I was truly have to say I was considering that, but then I would of course have wanted to go through the full-scale voice cloning and get a much better recording and that background. But I wanted to make it clear that, okay, that was the digital Vesku and this is me, the real one. But the technology is going there more and more, and it's going to be more and more exciting all the time. So one of the tools that can really power up, or services that can power up these AI technologies, is Microsoft Azure. Microsoft Azure AI services, there's a big bunch of different services under that, and I just wanted to list a few because they are really relevant on the Metaverse side. Of course, Azure AI, Azure Open AI services, GPT-4, GPT 3.5, DALL-E 2, soon I hope DALL-E 3, and we can start using the Microsoft AI Studio to create interesting stuff, and of course the APIs. The REST APIs make these usable from our own applications. So we can generate text or generate prompts and get answers. Yes, you know the drill. You have heard about ChatGPT. But it will enable us to have the natural language in our applications. Then cognitive search, how we are going to get information from documents or data sources using the natural language. And these have to be coupled with the content safety, of course. With content safety, we can ensure that our GPT model is not, or DALI is not producing something weird or something wild. At least we want to take away something about the hate, violence, and so on. So we want to make sure that it doesn't accidentally create inappropriate content. But also, if user is prompting with inappropriate content or prompt, then it will cut that off too. So there needs to be a moderation in there. So that's one built-in way to have this a bit more safety, a bit more responsible use of AI built in into Azure OpenAI services or in Azure AI services. Then there's the translation services, so we can use different languages, of course. So we have perhaps help documents, guides, something in one language, and we can generate the response in multiple different languages as well. And how? Because we have the speech. So we can use the speech to text and text to speech, my favorite part. Because now you see where this is going. So we are taking or somebody is speaking to the computer or to a bot or anywhere, and we can capture that speech and transfer it to text. And from the text, we can take it to the GPT model. And in there, whatever we do, it's speaker person is asking for something. We are going to retrieve the response and make the bot speak that out. So we have an avatar application somewhere and can talk back to the user in the language they have chosen, because there's a language detection, so we can know, okay, to which language we need to translate this, and so we can detect the language. Okay, this is user is speaking in Finnish or French, and we are going to reply in the same language. So that's a really powerful feature there, because we can talk with the user with their native language, and using all these capabilities Azure has, it's going to generate a new kind of experiences. And of course, that's very, very related to the metaverse. There's also things like vision. So you can use image recognition, recognize people, do something. And so that can be coupled with that if you have cameras or you need to identify items, objects. So you can start taking advantage of AI there. But with people recognition or facial recognition, yes, the responsible AI is going to be very tight, and it needs to be tight, because we don't want anyone to misuse this. You will hear me repeat the responsible AI during the process a few times. Then the custom voice. That's Azure AI way to clone your voice if you want. So you can just create the speech samples, and then you can generate the speech output. So yes, then you can be speaking on your language, on your voice, on your language or any language with text-to-speech. Then, of course, Azure OpenAI Whisper, it allows us to help people, because it can create transcripts from audio files. So we have different languages or audio files. People have been speaking in some language and we want to transcribe it out. It provides an English prompt or text, and then we can do something about that. And speaker recognition, who's speaking when, kind of key information, so we can have the metadata in there. So with all these capabilities, we can do something very extraordinary things to our customers and to users. And I have talked about this for a long time, but the natural language understanding, that's the big thing. That was the game changer, basically. We are understanding what's happening, because earlier our Chatbots were not that smart, but now they can be. They can be really smart, and they can go beyond chatbots. They can go beyond Q&A bots. Because with the natural language understanding, we can understand, okay, what that person is talking about, basically. What that person wants. What's the intent? Does it mean something like, okay, I want to do something. I want to create a task, and it can pick that information from the text. I want to book a meeting with those people, or I want to see what's the status of some machines or our process, or what's our power output, and I can use a free natural language to retrieve that information. I don't have to have a specific command or specific order of words or specific keywords there to initiate that command. And so that's the thing why, combined with the speech to text, speech to text, we can get that information when we are talking to the computer. So I have the example there. Of course, there's Azure OpenAI functions that do just this. That's an example of how you can be using the functions if you like, and basically asking about some machines. The SharePoint list is on the back there, just to basically show in live demos that, okay, if I do something, it's going to call for the list and then return the values back. It's a very simple things. But when it's doing that in Power Automate, you know already it can do anything. So there's hardly any limits there what we could be doing or where we would be integrating. So what it can do then? The functions basically tell the application, okay, you need to call this API, or you need to call this external function to retrieve this information. It can be anything basically. It just gives the name of the function to call and the parameters it has gotten from the text. So then you basically integrate that to your processes and systems, get the reply value, put it back to the GPT model and retrieve the value back. And then it generates the natural language answer to the person. Just like in the example, asking for status of a couple of different machines, nuclear reactor and steam engine, and it can understand you want to ask them both. So in the background, it's actually doing two. Let's get the power of the nuclear reactor, and yeah, it identified that's meaning user is meaning nuclear reactor power and user is meaning steam engine power. So we are retrieving that information from our backend, and then we are giving a command. So the command behind there is basically setting the power in this case. But I have described the name and description so well that I can use a very like natural language or loose natural language to reference those. So I can just say turn off the reactor. And it means set power to 0. So it will send the command there and it replies back it's now off. And then I can of course ask, okay, turn on those engines, and they will go to full power, which is 100% on default when it's on. So that's just a very, very, very simple example what could be done. Now start thinking about the upcoming M365 Copilot. And it was just released 2 days ago. And you probably, I hope you have had already chance to play with the Copilot. If you haven't, look forward for that. And you can use the natural language when working with documents, when working with your M365 information. But there's also the ability to extend the M365 Copilot. And that extending means that you are basically adding this kind of functions, features there. It can be extended with Teams message extensions and Graph API and so on. But the idea is the same. It can identify, okay, you are meaning this plugin or this extension, and it requires these parameters. So it can go ahead and make the call to the external system or whatever that is and return the information. So this is a very kind of hardcore version of how it's going to work and initiate, and I'm pretty sure it's that's the way it's done behind the scenes. But just keep an eye on that, and if you are interested, check out the Azure OpenAI functions, because that's going to tell you more about how to do this. And from all that, now we have the natural language understanding, we have intent understanding, we know what the user wants, and we are going towards the metaverse. And of course the title says it all. We can start to generate the metaverse. We can basically use a no-code approach. We are just telling what we want. That's the future. That's where it's going to be. Basically, we are using generative AI to generate different things to the metaverse. Okay, this time we are perhaps creating those in the Unity or Unreal Engine, and then taking them forward and generate the 3D scene or mixed reality scene. But the difficult part, at least for me, has been that generation of 3D, like 3D objects, 3D scenes and environments, meeting rooms, buildings, and machines. At the industrial metaverse and in many other places, we have the drawings or CAD designs, 3D designs of everything, and we can apply those there. But if you want to do something like a meeting room, you want to make a new space for the company or for your team, in the future you can do that with generation. So you can start creating objects, what you put in there. Perhaps you want some tables, chairs, animals even in there to make it the space more living. It looks like it's used in a way, and there's content. And so you want to be able to generate those easily. You could go there and go through different libraries and try to find one, or the easy way is going to be that we just type what we want or tell what we want and generate those landscapes or generate scenes. Animations will be there, and so we can make the world much more living. And now we are not exactly there yet, but we are getting closer and closer, because there's already tools that can do some of these. There isn't the one single tool that can do everything, but think about NVIDIA Omniverse. There's already a lot of those extensions available. Like in the picture, there's AI Toybox extensions, so you can generate, for example, transform a single image of a car into a fully drivable 3D asset, complete with light physics and physically based materials with the power of AI. So you can see where we are going. That's one asset that's also animated and giving those properties, how it's going to work in the 3D world. So it's going to be easier to generate all that. There's already tools to generate 3D landscapes. Just give it several 2D images and you get some kind of playground or landscape there. You can start creating those scenes. You can generate 3D avatars of people from facial scans. Okay, now we are getting closer to the photorealistic avatars, right? Yeah, that's going that way. We are going much more towards that way and faster all the time, because, hey, AI is speeding all this up. AI is really enabling how we are going to go forward to the future, and fast. And of course, these nerve scans, scanning objects, there's other technologies available as well, where you can just take a physical object and scan it, and code can or application can generate your 3D model. And you can put that model to your space or your metaverse. And yeah, there was the 3D animals, other shapes, so you can populate scenes, so it's not going to look that empty. So there are different tools that are already available there. So you can start to get started there, start experimenting, find out tools that work for you, or at least you know they are going to be there. So when you are starting to generate things, you might want to use them to get a head start. Because we don't really want to start from the scratch in every project. No way. We can't do that. We don't have the time. We, of course, want to make these things more easier. And as things are going to be more easier, the more citizen devs, so to say, there are, and we can generate the content by ourselves. We can generate the spaces by ourselves. So that's going to give us a lot more to create new experiences with our coworkers, colleagues, and so on. And of course, no, it's not the method we are going to be using at the industrial metaverse, but it may be used in some cases to kind of enhance the scene. But if you're talking about digital twins and so, yeah, that's a bit different track. But I really want to talk about the avatar side, because, and especially those 3D avatars of people. You should go and check that, by the way, that's Lumithrithmic, because it has a really, really cool stuff there. And so you can start generating the 3D avatars of people. Just take a facial scan. And this is a great example of that, because that just came out not too long ago, a few weeks, a month. And you can see where this is going. Lex Friedman did a podcast and interviewed Mark Zuckerberg. And before that, they were scanned. Like they took, I don't know, 10,000 or something pictures from the faces. So it was not just a short scan, but it was detailed scan. So they created very, very detailed photorealistic avatar out of Lex and Mark. So that's that's an interesting 1 hour long podcast, but with video, and you should definitely check that out, because if you haven't already, you might have, because it just explains how it's going to feel in the metaverse when we are going to be using those devices. By the way, that's a very great use of MetaQuest Pro. So the devices are there, the technology is there, that we could be starting to use photorealistic avatars. But the easy part is not there. It's not easy to create those. It creates special techniques, special equipment to create that photorealistic avatar today. But tomorrow, the things are going to be a lot different. As we are going forward towards the future, faster and faster, the future is going to be our today. And then in the near future, we can be doing that, getting a photorealistic avatars of ourselves, and we can start using them. When we are starting to use them in the metaverse space, I don't know, it's going to be special cases for a while, but it's going to change the way we are collaborating in some cases. Think about a room, a digital room, where you have people from different parts of the world joined together in there in a photorealistic way. It's like you are in the room with them. Today, when we are doing the meeting, we have less photorealistic avatars. I'm putting that very nicely. So it's not really expressing, okay, these are the people. But it's still better than having a 3D image most of the time, especially if we want to collaborate, talk, and have more interaction there. But when we go to that level, like in every day, every work, on our work life, it's going to be a very different way how we are thinking about these online events, for example. Just think about doing an online event with photorealistic avatars. At least looking at the speaker who's there, or you are simply looking at the speaker from in the hall. So the future is going to be extremely interesting with this. And AI has, it has a big role in that, because that's how we can do that. So AI will be there. It's going to be everywhere. Well, it's already embedded everywhere. We have been using AI probably longer than we knew that we were using AI, or really didn't think about it when I think about most of the people. But it's going to be driving the future faster. It's going to driving the intermix of AI and the metaverse much faster than before. Of course, I could say industrial metaverse is very close to my heart, and I really love what you can do there and what kind of possibilities it generates for companies, what you can do with that. And there's a lot of industries who have been using that for a long time already, but it's going to go faster forward. It's going to be developing. It's going to get new capabilities. Machine learning can do better predictions, more complex simulations faster, easier. And training of these may not take it that long in the future and so on. But AI is speeding this process up all the time. How we are going to be connecting our information there and how we are getting the digital twins to work. And I really also like this concept of AI teaching and testing the other AI. It's happening already. You can put two GPT models to talk to each other or different AI models. It doesn't really matter because it's just input and output. Instead of people, there's AI. But AI can be monitoring the AI and it can be testing that or it can be teaching that with new stuff. So it's not very far-fetched the idea to think, hey, these AIs will be helping us out and in various ways. Our process might be made of a few AIs talking together and human has a role there because we are the ones understanding the big picture. AI, as the natural language models are today, they don't see the world as we do. They are not intelligent in that way. They are algorithms. That's good to remember, by the way. They seem like a magic, but they are not. It's just algorithm and code in the core. So they can do sometimes funny things, and that's why you need to have monitoring, and that's why it's really good idea to have human in the process, at least overseeing that and thinking about, okay, is this going to the right direction or not? So that's why we want people there, and our capabilities, what we have as humans, we can use them to much better purpose than we could be doing, like accepting something that's very tedious and repeating routine work. So that's better work for AI anyway. That's if something could be automated, fine. We can use our capabilities to something better. So the AI will be powering this digital twins, avatars, scenes. It will create this metaverse world to be much more active, much more living, and easier because of the no code, for example. We can generate the code rather easily, or whatever we want to do. We can already see GitHub Copilot, how it's going to help us develop code. We have seen ChatGPT generating simple games, for example. So it's getting closer and closer where we can use these capabilities to do even more. And I really like the idea of having AI combined to digital twins. So we can use that AI to get the insights, we can get suggestions, we can get ideas. Perhaps it will run some simulations already on the background. So there's going to be more interactivity there. And I'm not sure it's happening yet, or actually I think it's happening, but it's not just very widespread at this moment. And the thing, thinking about the metaverse, think about you are in virtual reality. It's really hard to type. So, or you are walking somewhere, or you have a bot rolling to you in the real life. And you could start conversation with that bot. You can start a conversation with the digital bot in the metaverse. You can start a conversation with the app on your phone. All these things can rely that, okay, you are just using your natural language when you are talking to the bot or to the computer. And that's a new interface. It was sci-fi for a long time, especially in Finland, using the Finnish language. No, it's not easy for the AI yet today, but it's getting closer and closer all the time. And well, the AI isn't really a fan of my pronunciation of English either. So it will make mistakes for a while. But with these natural language understanding AIs, the text doesn't have to be perfect, but it can still understand what we are meaning. And that's of course the thing with the Microsoft Copilot as well. You can ask the AI to do something, and it doesn't have to be grammatically correct, or you might have typos or something is missing, but it can still generate or get your idea. This is your intent. This is what you want to do. So that's going forward pretty fast, and that's going to be easy way to create a new interface in the XR. So in the mixed reality, you have field workers, they just can't type all the time, they need the speech interface. There's still some things that hinder that a bit. One is the delay. There's a delay when you are doing speech to text. There's a delay when the text is going to the GPT model and gets back, and you are calling the backends and so on. And then there's a delay when you are doing text to speech. But that delay will get shorter in the future. So we can't fool anyone today, which is really good, about are you talking with the person or AI, because it's not just fast enough. Or perhaps it is somewhere, but not in for general public. It's not fast enough today. And of course, these language models will evolve. It's not always going to be a GPT model. It's going to be something else, possibly, which can be faster. But the idea is there, so we are getting closer and closer to the point that we can really talk to the machine and get the replies back, and it makes sense. And the one big thing there is, of course, the responsible metaverse. Yeah, we need that. We don't want to do the same mistake with the metaverse as we did with the internet. It's a wild west out there, and metaverse is getting closer to the wild west all the time. So hopefully there's going to be guardians that can make the metaverse more responsible. Of course, it needs a lot of collaboration between large companies that are providing these services, places, and platforms, so they have all the intent to make it a responsible place and safe place. That's required. I love the way the Microsoft is doing this, because they are really taking taking that to their heart and using that for responsible AI, responsible metaverse, so that the information and all these capabilities would not be used in an incorrect way. And AI has a really good role in responsible metaverse, because AI is the one who can determine that is something okay or not. It may not be perfect, but it's a lot better than having nothing. So it could determine from the text, from the understand pictures. GPT-4 multimodal, it's already understanding what's in the picture. So we will have the video understanding, that's in the Azure as well, object recognition, for example. And so we're getting close to that we can analyze what's happening and then identify if something is not okay, and then we can do something about it, or automatic routines can do something about it. So we can bring in the moderation in place, instead of having a huge amount of people watching the text or something to pass through images, and etc. Yes, you know what the company I'm referring to. Okay, so that's one of the key things. Then, how is this going to transform our XR experiences? Well, of course, I love the idea of these smart AI assistants. We are going to have our co-pilots, no matter what's the tech behind, but co-pilots in the metaverse. So we can talk with them, we can be in the virtual reality, we are in the extended reality, or just on the phone, mobile, walking and talking to our assistant. Siri, by the way, felt very old after you have been talking with the GPT model, and or very limited, let's say that, at least to me. But with there, we can start teaching them, okay, or we can have these co-pilots that can perform tasks. And just like the M365 Copilot is going to be able to do a lot of these tasks, then just add the audio part there, speech to text. And use all that you are discovering information, you are asking to do something. Write me notes, put a task for me, put me a reminder, simple things. Hey, create a new sales opportunity, or send a message about this pipe here and valve, and it needs to be checked. So it goes to the process, and then it can be checked later on. It appears as a task for the places where it's needed. Of course, getting the information out, discovering what's new, summarizing and highlighting information, AI can help us to get up to speed much more faster. And generating content. we want to write a memo. So instead of we are typing that in the virtual reality, no, we wouldn't. We just tell the highlights to Copilot to write that for us, or write an email or a message or news. And we will be doing that on the laptop. Yes, we are going to type a lot still in the future because it's faster. But eventually, when you are using these other modalities, you are using extended realities, then the typing isn't always the option. So we will be using that for generating content. And the thing, natural language interface and content generation. That's the thing. I'm repeating that a lot, I know, because that was the thing for me that changed how I felt about or saw the AI and the capabilities, what we can be doing. And that's changing the world at the moment, big time. Creation of this experience with no code. I already talked about that, but hey, that's still the natural language part. And something I've been using already is basically you have those tailored AI assistants. So they have a context. Generic AI is good, but it's not as good as a tailored AI can be in one strict context because it's specified. It can have better skills, better understanding, less failures when you are putting the context there. So it could be a controlled situation room for company. It could be about the business information, or it could be about process information, or what's the situation at the airport, or electricity distribution network, and that kind of thing. So the AI can be tailored to do specific tasks there, or bring out specific information, highlight specific alerts, so it can understand better what's going on. The same with help desk. It's tailored towards answering those questions from certain bank. And we have seen those chatbots already. So you just put that help desk, okay, here's HR and IT stuff, and answer from those, and people can ask in natural language and get the answers. So that's already there. And customer service, the same thing. What kind of, we are providing these services to our customers. It might be customer-facing AI in the future, or in some cases already. But at the moment, and in the enterprise level, it's about, hey, let's give our customer service tools so they can answer faster and better to customers. And there's still this human overseer in the middle. So human goes and takes the answer and checks that, okay, it's relevant, and posts it to the person asking. So these are all kind of things we can see and transform how we are working. And from all that, we are going to be enabling AI-guided tours. Like, hey, we have that photorealistic avatar. We have that natural language understanding bot where we can talk to that bot and it will speak back to us. So we can start thinking about, okay, how's the onboarding process? So we have our assistant, our teacher, digital teacher there who's going to guide us through. And we can ask questions in a free-form way. This is actually something you could do already. There's just a lag at the moment, or the delay, but it's really getting there. So we can do these things. It's just not seen yet very widely adopted because, hey, there's always a change, and the change takes time. And accepting these new tools, new possibilities, it takes time, but I'm pretty sure there's a lot of examples already. We just haven't heard about those. And trainings, the same, onboarding experiences, yeah. And perhaps we want to have in the metaverse in the future, we have B2C environment for customer facing, and we have a digital guide that's going to take us through some of the, hey, this is our company, this is what we do. Have you seen that somewhere? Yeah, in sci-fi movies. We have seen that. And it's becoming the reality. So it's really transforming our XR experiences all the time. And just as a reminder, the responsible AI and the metaverse, they are not optional. You're thinking about the enterprise solutions. You're thinking about business solutions for companies, your customers. You really need to take care of the responsible part, because otherwise, yeah, we don't want to go there. We know there's always companies who are not, or organizations, platforms who may not be following these guidelines, but and that's sad because AI is a tool that can create a lot of good, but you can use it for a lot of bad as well. So the responsible use is really the must. For example, Microsoft is not allowing you to use a lot of those advanced AI capabilities unless you make a separate application where you describe what you're going to do with that. And that's the thing. You are going to need to abide by those rules and so to be able to get access to those advanced tools. And that will be the case with the metaverse as well. So AI is truly enabling the metaverse. We are getting more and more out of the metaverse faster, better with the help of AI. And as the AI is driving the metaverse is also driving the development of AI, and they are very connected together. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed this, and you go ahead and watch the other on-demand sessions. Bye-bye.